Hey guys! Hello there! What is up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kira. Welcome if you're new. This video is my mid-year check-in. I'm going to be talking about the books that I've read in Q2, which includes April, May, and June.
If you didn't see me talk about the books I read in Q1, I'll put the video here.
This is going to be a quick video because I've only read 3 books in this quarter. So let's get started with the first book. So the book that I read in April was Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I gave this book 2 out of 5 stars.
I did not like this book. I did not enjoy reading it.
I didn't like the plot. I didn't like the characters. I didn't like their dynamic. They form an attraction to one another that doesn't really make any sense because in the first chapter they have a bad interaction and then after that they're like,
wait, but that hot veterinarian that helped my cat,
and then he's like,
oh, that girl who is so gorgeous and unlike anyone I've ever met.
And it's like, you guys weren't thinking that during your first interaction. So it kind of comes out of nowhere and then all of a sudden they're just like dating and it feels unearned, it feels disingenuous, and it doesn't really make sense to me. Things I also didn't like, the main female character, Samantha, her job is a social media manager for a mustard company.
That's like super niche, but it was so uninteresting.
A big part of the book is about their long distance relationship because Samantha moves to care for her mother who has early onset dementia. The main male character, Xavier, is living in his home in Minnesota and he literally just bought his own
veterinarian practice, his own veterinarian, but
he's a veterinarian. He owns a business. He just opened that and he was in a lot of debt because of that. So as much as they love each other and they want to be in a relationship, he can't move to California and she can't move back to Minnesota. The reason also why he doesn't want to move and give up his practice is because he has a really bad relationship with his parents.
They basically didn't believe in him, didn't think he would amount to anything, so he's doing that to prove his parents wrong.
Which is a typical trope that is so annoying in my opinion. He basically goes into debt flying back and forth to California like every week and it's like killing him. He has to work overtime so that he can afford the flights. She eventually loses her job, so like it's not an option for her to travel.
And I'm just like, this seems really unhealthy. I don't know why they keep doing this.
There's a lot of family drama with Samantha's family that was unfun to read about. I'm very surprised because I know a lot of people really enjoy reading Abby Jimenez books, but I just did not see the appeal. I was looking at Goodreads reviews before I started this video because I wanted to jog my memory about what the book was about. And apparently she makes a lot of pop culture references and uses a lot of Gen Z / millennial / TikTok jargon that
is kind of cringe when you read it in a book. And yeah, I agree. I really don't like that.
Anyway, that was the first book that I read in Q2. It does not get much better from here. The second book that I read was Georgie All Along by Kate Clayborn.
I think this book is a few years old because it was a book of the month book about 3 years ago.
And I figured it would be good because of that. And it was good in the sense that it was your typical contemporary romance where the conflict doesn't seem that big. Typical tropes of like living in the same house. The male character again just has some family trauma that prohibits him from growing as a person and being able to love,
yada yada yada. And of course he has a dog that, you know, loves him so much and he's so good with the dog. I'm so sick and tired of reading about men like this.
And reading this book really brought to my attention how much, at least growing up, I loved reading men that were written by women. And now that I know my boyfriend and I've grown as a person, it's so unrealistic for a man to be thinking these things. I feel like it's so unrealistic for a man to be saying these things. I feel like it's very unrealistic to expect a man to be reacting in this way. I like got the ick so bad reading it because I'm like, this is like a girl's fantasy for how a guy is. And I just feel like it's so unrealistic that it's distasteful. So basically, Georgie was a personal assistant for this celebrity in California, and then that woman left California to have a slower life. So then Georgie was out of a job. She flies back home to the DMV area.
She shows up at her house, her parents' house, and they're not there. And then this random guy shows up, and it's actually her high school crush's older brother.
When Georgie goes home, she wants to help her best friend move into her new house because she is very pregnant and is going to be having a baby soon. So she's helping her unpack things and organize the house and do chores and things like that. So that is the premise of the book. And the main character guy, Levi, he has to stay at Georgie's parents' house for a few weeks because his house is getting redone, like renovated. And so, yep, same house trope. They meet. It's a very awkward circumstance, and they just end up being attracted to each other with no reason. They end up getting together. A big part of the book is Georgie found this notebook from
middle school that she wrote with her best friend for things that they wanted to do when they got to high school
as kind of like a bucket list. And so Georgie finds this, she realizes she didn't do much of it at all. And so she thinks in order to find herself and find a part of herself that she thinks she's lost, she wants to do the things in that which aren't very exciting. It's like
shop at this shopping area, jump into this body of water, do this task.
Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just not very exciting to me. Levi decides that he's gonna help her do it because Georgie's best friend is super pregnant and she can't do everything. Levi says he'll do it with her, and then they fall in love, of course, and then they have a fight, and then it's like, oh, will they be together? Will they not be together?
I didn't see really any growth from their conflict to getting back together. There was really no development on either side.
It was just like, oh, I'm gonna make it up to you, as opposed to I'm really gonna take this time to work on myself and like work on solving my problems. Men written by women is really nice at times, but this was just so cringe to me because a lot of it's like what women wish men thought about them, but I couldn't imagine a man thinking that. I gave Georgie All Along 2 out of 5 stars. Next book. So the last book I read in Q2 was Elizabeth is Missing by Emma Healy, and I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. I really liked this book. Like, it really drew me in. It is about this woman, Maud, who has dementia basically, and she can't remember anything. You're in her point of view, so you see all the thoughts that she has and how she connects things from the past to the present and vice versa, and it jumps between the different timelines of the present with her being older with dementia and her being younger during war times. She's talking about the relationships with her parents, her sister, her sister's husband, and honestly, being in her perspective was very confusing at times, but so interesting to read.
It pulled me out of that contemporary romance slump and made me feel like, oh my gosh, like books can actually be good.
So basically, Maud, because of her dementia, she
is convinced that her friend Elizabeth is missing. She's not at home. She tries to call her. There's no answer. No one is telling her what happened to her friend.
All these things. And it also goes back to the past when her sister had gone missing and people were trying to find out what happened, and they never found her, never came to a conclusion about what happened to her. I feel like that's a very interesting premise for a book, and it was honestly so engaging. I liked dialogue for the most part. I'd say it's not like there was anything really exciting that was happening in the book. It was more so just like, I'm in a state of confusion because the main character is in a state of confusion, and I'm just waiting to get to the end of the book to figure out what happened. I feel like the ending was very rewarding. Overall, I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this book. Glad that I read it. So those were all the books that I read in Q2. So unfortunate that it was only 3 books. But you do the best that you can. I'll see you again at the end of September to recap my Q3 reads. Hopefully we get a little bit further than we did this quarter.
But yeah, thanks again so much for watching. If you have book recommendations, please put them in the comments down below, because even though I don't have TikTok, I feel like I still get roped into BookTube and things that are like super popular because I just don't know what to read. So let me know what you think I should read.
I'll see you soon. Bye!